Welcome to WYCE's Community Closeup, our weekly public affairs program produced in partnership with the Rapidian, our hyper-local news service of the Grand Rapids Community Media Center. Community Closeup seeks to bring you a diverse perspective from community leaders throughout West Michigan. This is WYCE Station Manager Phil Tower in studio with Ted Diedrich, Station Manager of GRTV. It is kind of a unique experience to sit down with a team member and leader here at the Grand Rapids Community Media Center, but I promised Ted I would go easy on him. And Ted has promised me very short answers for every one of these questions, which is a complete and utter falsehood. Ted, it's great to first of all, do an overview of GRTV because I think a lot of people know about GRTV, but may not know that it's here in the Grand Rapids Community Media Center, just down the hallway from WYCE. It's been here this is the 29th year for us inside the Community Media Center. But GRTV goes back over 40 years, right?
Yeah. We started 1980 was when we were incorporated. Our first broadcast was in 1981. So, yeah, I can give you the overview of GRTV. We're a public access television station. A lot of people don't necessarily even know what that is, even though we've been around for a long time. Public access is a free speech platform. Anybody can turn in programming from Grand Rapids onto our channel, and we will broadcast that on Comcast channel 25, 24. We also have that channel as well, Livewire, and it's a really amazing place. You sign a little form when you turn it in saying I'm not doing anything illegal, I'm not inciting a riot, I'm not libeling anybody or slandering, but we don't watch the programming. You turn it into us, and we air it out to everybody in Grand Rapids. There's no censorship, nobody's gatekeeping and saying you gotta be at this time, this length, this format. You can't say these words. Everything goes on GRTV.
And GRTV, which was originally incorporated as Grand Rapids Cable Access Center, used to be located in the Grand Rapids Public Library, main branch, basement.
But in their bomb shelter, their nuclear bomb shelter.
But the bomb shelter, that's right. And I was really fortunate in the late 80s to do some programming for GRTV when everybody watched cable. That was a predominant way to watch TV. And I think, Ted, it's important to remind people GRTV was born out of the first cable agreement in the city of Grand Rapids. So the city of Grand Rapids got cable TV. This is hard to imagine. Late 70s, 1980, somewhere around that?
Yeah, 78, I think.
So then a public access channel or channels were born out of that, and they're known as PEG channels, public access, education, and government. So GRTV exists today as a public access channel, as you said, and really primarily a free speech platform. Tough question. Why is that still important today?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people conflate YouTube and this public access usage as kind of like this online version of public access. I think what we're seeing now, in particular the last few years, is a lot of these online platforms that claim to be free speech, right? Twitter, or now X, YouTube, Facebook. We're starting to see that's not actually the case, right? That
True.
There's commercial incentives behind all of those modes of communication, and they're monetizing our voices for their own profit, not out of this benevolent sense of there's a reason why we need to communicate with each other. And so public access is really this vanguard in communication that preserves the ability for people to communicate with each other, especially in their local communities, in a free and barrier-free-less way where you can make the content you want to make. It doesn't have to appease any board members. It doesn't have to fit a format that gets the most views or the most likes. It doesn't have to be, constantly virtually engaging the most possible people. It has to be important to you and important for you to share with your community. And that's the only barrier that we have is like, can you make it and share it with us? And that freedom of expression is still incredibly important. And like I said, poignant today, we're seeing such restrictions on these so-called free speech platforms online.
So much of what GRTV does today, Ted, is around empowering everyday people here in West Michigan to gain production skills, to learn how to produce their own video content, to learn how to use pro-grade equipment, to shoot their own videos for any number of reasons. They could be nonprofit organizations. GRTV is really built on a membership and access model. And I'd like you to talk about that because it's really a principle, a core principle of the Grand Rapids Community Media Center.
Yeah. The membership model that we have, anybody can turn in something to GRTV. You don't have to be a member to access our airwaves because those airwaves belong to everybody already, right? Our taxpayer dollars are paying for the infrastructure bringing those to you. So anybody can broadcast on our channel. But we have classes that you can take to learn how to use video equipment, editing equipment, audio production equipment to make high quality productions. And then once you've taken that class, you get access to that equipment for free through the membership. So it's an annual membership to the Grand Rapids Community Media Center. There are a lot of benefits to that throughout the whole organization. Being able to use Wealthy Theater, being a voting board member for GRCMC and determining what our future is. Those are important aspects of it. But you also get discounts on classes as a member of the Grand Rapids Community Media Center, and you get free access to that equipment once you've taken those classes.
And the Community Media Center here has different levels of membership, including corporate or nonprofit membership and an all-access membership, which is really the full ticket to everything that Ted just talked about, is $40 a year. There are sliding fees based on your ability to pay, and you can learn more at grcmc.org, and you can find GRTV there as well as WYCE. We're speaking with Ted Diedrich, station manager at GRTV, talking about GRTV, which is, as you said, Ted, it's two channels, channel 24 and 25. But you're also, and have been for a while, streaming on Twitch, right?
Yes. Yep. We have a Twitch GRTV Access. So twitch.tv/GRTV Access will get you to our Twitch. That's a 24 live stream of what's on GRTV. We also have a GRTV app. So it's on Roku, it's on Fire TV, and it's on other Android devices on the Play Store. You can download the GRTV Access app and watch either channel there. There's also video on demand available on the app, so you can find your favorite programs on GRTV and watch those directly.
And maybe someday coming to the Apple TV.
Perhaps, yeah. One of the things that we can't tell Apple TV is that we aren't going to air adult content. Because we don't control what goes on our airwaves. The community does. And sometimes there's people who want to swear or people who want to do a burlesque program or arts programming that might be deemed inappropriate for young audiences. And so a free program without that restriction is something that Apple is worried about, children downloading that sort of thing appropriately. But yeah, we'd love it to be on Apple as well.
And if you live in the city of Grand Rapids and you still have cable TV through Xfinity primarily, that's channel 24 or 25. If not, you can go to twitch.tv and it's GRTV Access, you said?
Yeah.
And also on Fire TV and Roku, and maybe someday, possibly Apple TV. I want to talk about the importance of the training and the classes because a lot of folks want to learn media production skills. Maybe they want to produce a program and then turn around and give it to you for airing on GRTV. They may have their own YouTube channel as well. But really, Ted, you and I have seen in the last 10, 15 years, content really needing to be in multiple places, being able to be mobile friendly, being on YouTube and being in so many other places. But let's talk about that in terms of gaining media production skills. You also have a production team as well. If somebody wants to hire your production team to go out and cover an event here in West Michigan.
Yeah. Most of our producers do have a YouTube channel. They're turning in programs to GRTV because they want to reach a local audience. YouTube doesn't really have a way to find what's local, to find who in your community is making stuff. And so GRTV is a really great way to connect with local audiences, to become, kind of locally famous is people watching GRTV. But yeah, we expect most of our programmers to also be uploading to YouTube or sharing their shorts or their promos on shorter form platforms. So that's a big part of it. But yeah, always increasing your ability to make better programming is a part of what makes channels and producers great. There's you kind of accept when you start making media that your first 10 episodes of a podcast or a show probably aren't going to be your best. They're going to be where you start. You're going to make lots of mistakes, but those are sorts of, we share those experiences with our programmers here, help them take those next steps. When they bring back equipment, we're always asking, what were your sticking points? What are the problems here? Did you have problems with your audio? Can we get a better microphone situation for you? So we have staff that when you check stuff in, you can consult with us, ask us all sorts of questions about production. If you're coming into our edit suites, there's a staff person 10 feet away, where if you get stuck in a program or you don't know where the next button is, or you forgot from the class what you have to do to, save a new project, there's someone right there to help you.
I've told so many people, and you've heard me say this to people, in the age where you can learn anything on YouTube, to have that person just feet away, that video professional who's trained here at the Grand Rapids Community Media Center, be available to actually assist you in person, to answer your questions about operating the camera or the microphone or doing the editing, wherever that may be. That's something you can't get online, and that is included with your Community Media Center membership. I don't want to run out of time. Volunteers are important for powering GRTV, especially when you're out in the community. Ted, let's talk about opportunities for volunteers with GRTV.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's one of the best ways to gain skills. Taking our classes, working on stuff on your own can be really a good way to do that, but also working side by side with folks, having somebody in your ear during a production to say, hey, pan that camera left or right or tilt up or down. Those are really great experiences. And we really pride ourselves on our volunteer experiences, where it's not a production style pressure where no one's going to yell at you if you don't get your camera right, or, the expectations are that you are a volunteer, you're coming here to learn skills, and it's okay to make mistakes. And so we really embrace that when we do productions, and we need volunteers. So to sign up as a volunteer, grtv.org/volunteers has a sign up sheet there. You can add yourself to our volunteer list. You don't have to have experience. You don't have to have taken our classes to volunteer with us. And then we have monthly opportunities with shows coming up like City Connection, where the mayor comes in and chats with the community. We always need volunteers for that sort of programming. But our big need coming up is actually for WYCE's Jammies. We do a 3-stage live stream during the Jammies of the 18 different bands that are going to be there. We always need volunteers for that. Camera people, directors, assistant directors. We train you on the spot. We provide pizza and food for you, so you don't have to pay the venue prices for that. And it's just a really fun way to experience one of the best music events in Grand Rapids.
It sure is. And you can learn more at grtv.org. And just look for the volunteer information there. We're speaking with Ted Diedrich, station manager at GRTV here at the Grand Rapids Community Media Center, right down the hall. And you're always welcome to tour the Grand Rapids Community Media Center and GRTV to ask questions. We didn't even talk about our media preservation suite. If you've got VHS tapes or other forms of analog content you'd like to convert to digital, we have that here at the Grand Rapids Community Media Center, and there is a class you can take through GRTV. Podcasting class is one of your most popular classes, too.
It is, absolutely. Yeah, we have video production classes, all from very basic cameras to cinema-style cameras. We have editing in both DaVinci Resolve and Final Cut Pro, so a couple of models there. We have a television studio. We have podcasting. We do workshops. We have the media preservation suite training. So all of those are available, like you said, on our website, grtv.org. There's a Learn page there where you can see all of our different classes and offerings.
And we haven't even touched on media literacy, but that's also a key and really core principle here at the Grand Rapids Community Media Center. And it's really what GRTV was founded on, and media access. So you can learn more again at grtv.org. Real quickly, Ted, was there anything I didn't ask you about that you wanted to share with our viewers and listeners, because we are on GRTV as well as WYCE?
Yeah, I think it's just the core philosophy of why we exist is in the Community Media Center. WYCE GRTV is to really protect this access to media for the community. There's so many gatekeepers, there's so many barriers for people to be able to communicate with their community, and That's what we're protecting here. And so becoming a member gets you access to all those benefits. It also just supports what we do and the reasons why we do it here. And so I encourage anyone, even if you aren't thinking necessarily about taking a class, to become a member, to become involved, and find out a little bit more about what we do.
It's a really empowering skill to learn to create your own content. And again, grtv.org. He is Ted Diedrich, station manager of GRTV, and he lived up to the challenge. We were able to get this in within the allotted time. Well done, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been a lot of fun. Ted Diedrich, station manager at GRTV, with us on WYCE's Community Closeup, our weekly public affairs program produced in partnership with the Rapidian, a hyperlocal news service at the Grand Rapids Community Media Center. I'm WYCE station manager Phil Tower. We'll do this again next week right here on WYCE.